times, if we have to be frank and explain all these things for people to understand.
Thank you very much, Atiku. Now, Jide, with what has been going on so far, like when of course, like you rightly mentioned, that the governor was invited to the assembly by the lawmakers, and of course the governor also, like from what we gathered, also invited the lawmakers for reconciliation, as a means of reconciliation and all of that. Now, would you say that both parties, have shown enough commitment to keeping peace in the state?
The truth is no. No, because one good thing I must emphasize that largely the factions have resorted to litigation as a means of resolving their crisis. So if they have resorted to self-help, we will have been counting numbers of dead and maimed and all of that. Remember, there was a time past when rivers is called rivers of blood. It used to be bloody rivers. Election time and this is not the first political turmoil that Rivers State has gone through.
We don't want all that.
No. What I'm saying is that, in terms of when Peter Odili was governor, he has his own political crisis. Chibika Amiche has his own, even with the former, governor, now FCT minister. Now it's the turn of Sim Fubara and Wike. The bottom line is that in politics, there will always be disagreement. And when there is a disagreement, elders must come together to mediate. The reason why this has not been laid to rest is that there is still a lot of ego and muscle flexing. It's either my way or highway. You ask me whether the two factions have shown commitment. I would say not enough. Not enough in the sense that, for instance, what stops Mr. Governor from releasing the withheld funds of the the withheld funds of the House of Assembly members? They've not been paid since the crisis started way back in October 2023. And you see, you cannot starve them of funds and think they will answer to your call. So I had expected, as a matter of showing respect and good faith, the withheld fund allowances, salaries that are due to those 27 members should have been released. Now, if that is released, and then you go and present the budget to them, you have nothing to hide. It is within the prerogative and the constitutional responsibility of a governor to present budget. After all, he presented the same budget to 4 members led by Victor Okojombo, who has now been disregarded. That is number one. Number two, on the side of Martin Amewule, I've also asked them saying, oh, the Okojombo people have been suspended, they cease to be members of the assembly. No, the Supreme Court in its consequential order said all of them. It did not say this faction or that faction. All of them should resume their legislative duties. So what went on in the past should remain in the past. Edison Ayiye had resigned and has become the chief of staff to Sim Fubara. That one is -1. Then the one that is dead, -2. INEC needs to go and reconduct election into those 2 state constituencies. But for Okojombo and 3 others, as well as the 27 on the Amewule faction, now they have to work harmoniously together. And if the governor does not have anything to hide, you lay the same budget 2025 before the Okojombo assembly. What stops you from also submitting that same budget or an amended version of it that will take care of the interest of the legislative assembly? Because now the assembly will be waiting to see what manner of budget are you going to bring. If there is nothing in it for us, we will not pass it. And if they don't pass it, that will further aggravate the situation. So what I'm saying is that the 2 factions must show commitment. And I have advised on other platforms that the solution to Rivers crisis does not lie in Rivers State. I have had cause to call on eminent statesmen, in fact, National Peace Committee, headed by Revered Abdulsalami Abubakar, Bishop of Sokoto Archdiocese, Bishop Matthew Azankuka, General Yakubu Gowon, people like that, people who have no stake, who are not contractors, who are not looking for what to eat. Because what has happened now, why this crisis has first started, is because those who are eating from Fubara does not want him to give in. Those who are eating from Wike does not want him to give in. And because they are profiting from the crisis, they don't want it to end. So they will continue to whisper, don't allow. Let's go back to court. Let the court make this. See, election, by this time next year, it will be another election season. I hope you know that. Yeah. And when that happens, nobody will be talking about governance. And that's what St. Fubara should know, that his name is what will be mentioned after he leaves office. What does he want to be remembered for? Thank you. Must be people of goodwill, elder statesmen that should be invited to mediate. Mediation, alternative dispute resolution is what needed to be pursued at this point.
Okay, now, Atiku, I know, of course, you mentioned, there's an impending crisis. Now, what do you think should be done? Of course, Jide here has mentioned mediation by neutral people, parties, neutral persons, even from other states, if possible, to come into this issue. Now, what do you think can be done to de-escalate, tension and, ensure political stability in River State?
I think the ADR which he mentioned, the alternative dispute resolution, will be the best approach in this case. And the eminent personalities he has mentioned, they can handle this situation, because both parties will have to respect them, because when they were much younger, these people held their positions of authority. So I think they need to step in at this time to call the two of them and then talk to them to see reasons why they should stop this, so that the state can move forward. And these personalities can do that, because both the FCT minister and the governor of Rivers State, they will have to respect these elder statesmen. So, and of course, these elder statesmen have nothing to, they are not looking for anything again. They have reached the zenith of their careers, and they do not need anything in this world again except in the hereafter. So they would be able to say the truth to all of them. I will caution them, because they are like children to these people now. They are like children, so they can say, you stop this, why did you do this, why don't do this again? And at the end of the day, we will have peace. I think, let me use this opportunity to call on them that if they are listening, that they should please, because a tiny stick of match ignited by a naughty playful shard on a combustible object may develop into an inferno that could consume a whole village. But if an elder around will keep a watchful eye, or rise immediately to put out the initial playful fire, it will save the whole village and the content therein. That is why they need to step in at this moment to save the situation and save Nigeria.
Yes, of course, Jide, we're talking about peace here, the way out, of this crisis. A lot of some stakeholders have said, look, there's impending crisis if both parties don't shift their sword, if they don't, resolve these issues. Now, I want you to give us your final word on this, and of course, talk to the persons involved in these issues to see.
No, there's nothing more to add beyond the fact that if they truly had the interest of Rivers State attacked, they must give peace a chance. Like Onyeka Onwenu of blessed memory sang, give peace a chance. See, these old rhetorics, I wonder, why will an assembly be ordering a governor 48 hours, I want to see this? You don't do that to an executive governor. You don't order him around. In an ideal democracy, you must, even if it's a younger person to you, you must show respect. But it is not for me to say who is right or who is wrong. The most important thing is that both of them have their own fair share of blame. And this is not the time to trade blame. Rivers is the treasure base of Nigeria. If there is a crisis, like my brother said, if a tiny mistake, if you don't don't quickly nip it in the bud. The oil production that Nigeria is looking at, 2.2 million, or is it 2.5 million we want to get to in 2025, will be a mirage, because if the Joy youths are already threatening that any act of impeachment of Fubara will lead to the destruction of pipeline, they will lead to bloodbath. That is not what is needful at this point. Which is why I'm saying the elder statesmen can call these two dramatic personnel together, summon them to Abuja, have a closed door meeting with them, scold them if there is need be, but let them leave that place with a resolution to work for the unity of Rivers State and Nigeria. Because what affects Rivers will affect the entire country. Look at the multi-million-dollar investment that Nigeria, the NLNG is in Bonny, is in Rivers. The refinery that we spent $1.5 million, you know, to refurbish, that just started work, is in Rivers. So there's a lot Nigerian state has at stake, and that's why everything must be done to ensure peace and peaceful resolution of the political crisis in Rivers State.
Of course, all hands must be on deck to ensure that this peace, happens in Rivers State. This is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of Nigeria Today. A very big thank you to Jide Ojo, a public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for your time and your sharing your perspective with us. And also, we have Atiku Abubakar Isa, a public affairs analyst also. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. And thank you for being part of the program. Don't forget, Nigeria Today airs every weekday at 7:30 p.m. on NTA News 24. You can also check out this episode and others on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. Once again, thank you for being there. I'm Mikaria Clinton. Goodbye.